big boy air cans. Let's compare them. Both shocks are extremely capable. They go about their business in two very different ways. You're listening to the X2 and it makes a little bit more noise. Now you're listening to the Vivid much quieter. The Vivid seems to move a little bit quicker if you didn't notice. Suspension is a team sport. Let's compare the flagship 38 to the Zeb. The Zeb is much more progressive than the 38. The Zeb has 0 tokens, 0 high-speed compression. The 38 has 2 tokens and a ton of high-speed compression. Both suspension systems really shine on the big hits on this trail. Rocshox likes to pop and play. Fox is plush and loves to hug the ground.
Way more traction. Oh, like a pillow.
Rocshox suspension is for peasants, bro. I don't even know why you're testing that stuff out. Fox Float X2, you should probably buy 2 of those, bro. Doesn't matter how you ride or what you ride. As long as you have fun, that's all that matters. Both shocks are 230 by 65. Interestingly, they weigh exactly the same at 825 grams. Both shocks can take up to 4 tokens, except the Rocshox Vivid does not take kindly to 4 tokens. The Vivid features a 34mm stanchion. The X2 features a 31.65mm stanchion. The main body of the Vivid is 58mm. The X2 is 57. The longest part of the piggyback on the Vivid is 101mm. The X2 is much shorter at 92mm. The shock body is substantially bigger on the Vivid, and the X2 has substantially more adjustment clickers.
Some kind of big critter in the bushes here. Got the bear spray.
Round 1, cross-country trails. The Vivid is marginally more plush than the X2 on these mellow trails. And the 38 is marginally more plush in the front. Realistically, this is big boy suspension and it doesn't exactly shine on cross-country trail riding. Testing both these suspensions out on my SR71 Blackbird, also known as Specialized Kenevo. It's a 57-pound e-bike with 185mm of rear wheel travel. This is a fast, smooth section of trail. The Rocshox really feels more lively and the Fox doesn't feel as lively or poppy. The Vivid provides a faster response time to rider input, making a funner experience overall, pop and play. Comparing the forks on the same section of trail, the Zeb provides the rider more trail feedback, resulting in more arm pump. The 38 is more plush, but it does compromise the pop. The Zeb does lack small bump sensitivity, but this becomes irrelevant when it faces bigger hits.
Rough, fast, and straight.
The air spring in the Zeb provides the support and gives you a pillow-like feel over rough trails. This trail is where the suspension theories of the 2 brands really comes into play. The slower moving, highly damped Fox suspension provides insane ground-hugging traction.
Oh, ground-hugging traction.
It gives you a squishy, consistent feel like Jell-O. It feels like you're sinking into the ground and you're definitely getting a more planted feeling. Rockshox theory is lightly damp the suspension, use the air spring. Skim over the rough terrain and pop and play while you're doing it. Both suspension systems perform excellent in all-out plowing conditions.
The best way to compare Fox to Rocshox, get a can of whipped cream. This is going to represent compression. Compression squeezes and controls the oil flow. This is Fox's theory on compression. Now this is Rocshox's theory on compression. Comparing the Vivid to the Fox Float X2, there's a lot more whipped cream or compression in the Fox Float X2. Some people love it, some people hate it. If you like to drink your mocha frappuccino like that, there's nothing wrong with it. And if you like it like Rockshox, there's nothing wrong with that either. And what in the hell is wrong with you?
Gold stanchions, what do you mean?
Why are you doing that? Love cream and I like sauce.
Cheers, mate. This is the Fox suspension. I want you to watch the back tire, how it hugs the ground. Now, this is the Rockshox suspension. It pops off the jump a lot better, but watch the rear tire hop. Not as much traction, less compression. Both suspension platforms are equal when it comes to the big hits. The pillow-like feel on the Rockshox Vivid can become inconsistent on long sustaining downhills due to the nature of air. The Fox Float X2 is more consistent because the oil is thicker and that is supporting the stroke. Fox did show its dominance in ground hugging traction on super steep chutes that were rough.
Okay, we're hitting the steeps.
Later down the trail, things get steep and technical. Both these suspensions suck at slow speed riding. A lighter duty equivalent like a 36 and a Float X would be better on these slow speed technical riding.
All right, bro, that was a steep section.
Rockshox suspension will undeniably make your long travel enduro bike more playful, more poppy, and generally more fun on the trail. The Vivid is especially special because it's so linear. The Zeb is super progressive, but somehow they made them work really good with each other. I spent the first couple weeks on the Vivid with the 38, wasn't a terrible match. When I put the Zeb with the X2, didn't work as good. A lot of riders are gonna struggle on the Zeb because it's so progressive. I'm 220 pounds, 0 tokens, 0 high-speed compression. If you were 150 pounds, you'd have to get that thing retuned. The Rockshox Vivid, everybody's here to play. I feel like I'm on the upper weight limit of this shock at 220 pounds. The shock does not work good above 320 PSI. It also doesn't work good with 4 tokens. It also doesn't work good when you use the compression. You gotta use a lot of air in this shock and just the right amount of tokens. Both suspensions are top tier. You just gotta choose. Do you want poppy and playful, or do you want plush and planted? It's been a really long day on the mountain, so I don't have any more energy to pull suspension off. But let me bust a couple myths.